the first decade of the 21st century, many of Britain's citizens literally have never had it so good in terms of their expenditure on holidays, on new kitchens, on houses, and of course cars like this. Now, virtually every single car that we can see here costs at least twice my wage, and I earn significantly above the national average wage. In 2010, the things that we consider to be normal to possess nowadays aren't the things that we considered normal to possess way back in the 1970s. Back in the 1970s, the first piece of microelectronic technology I ever saw was one of these, a pocket calculator. It was really quite wow, it really quite impressed me at the time. But recently, my daughter, who was about the age I was in the sort of mid-1970s, at that age now, persuaded me to let her buy herself one of these iPods, and this was peer pressure created by her friends who've got Wiis and Nintendos and DS's, laptops, Blackberries, the whole gamut of modern technology. And she said, "Be fair, Dad, my friends have got these things. Why can't I have something like this?" And so I let her actually go and buy an iPod. It's all dazzling for somebody like me. I was brought up in a house without a television, without a telephone, without a washing machine, had to share a bedroom with my brother. Never thought of myself as poor, mind. Last year, the great social scientist, Professor Peter Townsend, died. But part of his lasting legacy was probably the best working definition of what poverty is in a modern consumer capitalist society.
Most people in Britain who lose their job will get another within a few months or a few years. But the effects on their incomes and wealth will last much longer. Many more will get into debt as a result. We all like to spend money to try and keep up with the Catherine Zeta-Joneses, but unsecured debt levels in Britain in 2010 reached £1.5 trillion.
You know, Danny, sitting in a cafe like this type of lifestyle that we're enjoying, this is a type of lifestyle which many people in Britain today simply may aspire to but are unable to fulfil. What we've really created is a society where we've exclusion between the goats and the sheep, the wheat and the chaff, as the phrase you use in your book, has divided us into the haves and the have-nots, and we've got to keep these have-nots lean and mean in order that they desire our lifestyle, in order that we can actually create demand for the things that we want.
Yeah, come on, whose fault is it if you don't succeed? There's loads of people who would have it just because it just wasn't in you, it wasn't innate in you, and you didn't work hard enough as well. And that's why you get into debts and all the rest of it. At the same time, it's people trying to sell advertising to make you want to buy things. Recently somebody said if the law was passed that said that all advertising had to be true, most of it just couldn't be shown. They don't advertise because you're worth it. They advertise because they're greedy and they want to make money out of you.
And of course the issue of being excluded in today's society is that it's probably more painful today than it has been in previous years, because nowadays we've got more awareness of what we're excluded from.
Oh yeah, I mean you can see it all around you, you can hear it, you know what other people have got, what kind of cars they've got, what kind of houses they live in. It's just there, it's in your face.
Mind you, in terms of trying to create desires in people for things that they never knew they wanted until this particular moment, may we suggest perhaps this particular book, Home, A Personal Geography of Sheffield by Carl Lee?
No, you want to buy this book, much thicker than that.
Oh, hardback as well. You've got to have a bit of cash to buy a book on inequality. You need a bit of money to buy the book on inequality.
But you're worth it.
But you're worth it. And it's a desire that you know you want.
Shameless.